Итак, сейчас мы увидим с вами, как будут разжижать золото. Now we're going to see how they're going to melt a real gold.
First of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to my workplace. This is a place where we show you about the purifying of gold. And just to explain that, the thing about gold simply is this. You find it, you take it from the ground, you sell it, you make a profit. Wrong. Doesn't work that way. You find gold. It's not pure. The only way I can tell when the gold's ready is by sight. I actually had a chap come out to me this morning and just say, so you would have a gauge or a thermometer there to tell you when the gold's ready. No such thing as far as I know, or certainly not in our time. It was really on my sight and experience, and my only explanation to that gentleman was simply this. The gold, when you actually melt it, doesn't boil away like water does, and it doesn't go plop plop like hot mud. It simply domes and then ripples around the outside of it. But it also does something else, and that is it changes colour. So even though it's a gold colour, and it'll be a different colour to what you think, because it's got heat in it as well, so it's a much lighter yellow than you would think gold to be. That's what happens with this. In actual fact, it becomes virtually like a white yellow. But you'll see what I mean, because, well, the gold's ready, and that's how I know, simply by the colour of the gold. Now you'll see what I'm talking about as I start to pour this, so here we go. So you can see what colour it is. So even though it's gold, it's still a very light colour. And that's because of the heat that's in it. Now, the gold's just sitting here at the moment. I did say we took it to 1200 degrees because it was going to become solid really quickly. But we're just waiting for that to happen. But while we wait, ladies and gentlemen, I have enough time to tell you about my life story. And, well, in actual fact I don't, because the gold's already solid. So there it is. So I suppose my life story is pretty short, isn't it? Yes. Solid indeed. And what else is there that we have to understand? May I say, ladies and gentlemen, that gold truly is an amazing metal. But the only reason I say that, it is not the price of gold that makes it amazing. It is what we call its properties. The ability as a metal to do things that other than setting that stick on fire.
Wow.
Of course, the gold will need about 2 hours to cool if we just let it sit there. But I do know there are lots of things to see and do at Sovereign Hill, so we're not going to be waiting for 2 or 3 hours. Just place the gold into this tub of water and let's see what will happen. Right. Now, even though I took that gold to a temperature of 1200 degrees Celsius, ladies and gentlemen, I did say that the temperature would drop to about 900 degrees once we poured it into that mould. But even at that temperature, it was still hot enough, as you noticed, to set that stick on fire, so we did have to be extremely careful. But I also then spoke about this ability of gold to conduct heat. And with the knowledge that water cools and that gold will conduct heat extremely well, then may I say that that piece of gold sitting there is now quite safe to be handled. But may I say that? Of course I can. I can say anything. But I have to show you, don't I? And the only way I know how to do that is, of course, no, not pick it up. Just prove a theory. You see, gold will conduct heat extremely well. That's the theory. And if that is the case, we can now assume the heat has gone from the gold into the water. And if that is the case, then all we do is check the temperature of the water, find that to be warm, the theory's proven, and I can pick up that piece of gold. But of course I do have to show you about the temperature of the water. And once again, there is only one way to do that. And so, no, it's cold, but I knew that. So if the gold is safe to hold and the water's still cold, well, of course the question is, what happened to that heat? Well, as you may have noticed, there was quite a bit of steam, so that's where the heat was going. And because most of the heat went up in the steam, and because water will cool, and because gold will conduct heat extremely well, then of course this piece of gold was indeed quite safe to be handled a while ago. So I suppose all that's left for me to do now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is to show... Oh! No, sorry. Huge up there, boy. Yeah. Show you this piece of gold, 3 kilos, 99.99% pure and worth today just over 130,000 Australian dollars. Now, of course, the story wouldn't be complete, ladies and gentlemen, if I didn't tell you the last final piece of information. And I am duty bound to let you know that this piece of gold, ladies and gentlemen, is not mine. No, it belongs to Sovereign Hill, and they tell